comes in to rob, steal, kill, and destroy. But I come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. Welcome to the Antidote.
Hey guys, welcome to the Antidote Show. I'm your host, Marshall Brown. Thank you for tuning in. Please make sure like, share, and subscribe. You know all that stuff they do out there in these Facebook, YouTube, Instagram streets. Make sure you are sharing this show today because I have an amazing guest. I've been waiting to get her on the show for a long time because, baby, she helped your girl out. She helped me out. Listen, let me tell you something. She's got the antidote. Believe it or not, I'm telling you, I know God is the antidote to all things, but you know what? Some people possess the Antidote Show, and I tell you right now, I got her on the show. So without further ado, I have Dr. Dixon, the aloe. I can't say aloe man, she the aloe lady herself. Let me tell you something now. Girl, how you doing, Miss Dixon? How are you doing?
I am amazing. How are you?
Yes, you are. Girl, you so cute. I like that little
Thank you.
You are so worth it. So, Miss Dixon, how's everything out there going, girl?
Amazing. Listen, my word for the year is just simply yes and amazing.
I know that's right.
I refuse.
You know, my word for the year is delivered. Okay,
Oh,
my finances is delivered. My health is delivered. My man, he gonna be delivered. Okay.
Yes.
So let's get into this, Miss Dixon. Let me tell you something. I just thank God that for the connection. Yeah. You know, we were connected. Several different people were getting me to you. I have one young man, his name is Hanif. He brought me some Gap pills, child. He was like, you got to go over there and see her. And I was like, okay, didn't do it, right? So then I had a client, Natasha. Natasha's like, listen, Marcia, you have to go over there and see her. And I was like, you know what? I was out that way. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to stop on by. Yeah. And I am glad I did. Okay.
I am too.
Girl, it's a well-hidden gem, okay? And people need to know. That's why I had to have you on today. People need to know these things.
Let's get it out, girl.
Keep it to ourselves. So, Dr. Dixon, tell us who you are and how you got started. How you got started and what you're doing.
Woo, that's a journey, right?
I know, right? But there's a testimony in that journey.
Yes.
I'm telling you.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I am, again, I'm Dr. Dixon, and I'm a naturopathic doctor. And what that simply means is that I help you to get well, and we do it naturally. That's it. No really fancy, pretty names. It is, we look for things holistically to help your body to heal. And it's based on God's principles, right? My testimony. So my dad, who is Dr. Johnson, started this herbal business back in 1977. And of course, growing up in it, you figure that's the path that you're supposed to take, right? And so I did for a while. And then I was, as most of us, rebellious. Stepped out but came back in. And so I started just kind of following in the flow of it. But I was doing it just because. In 2009, I was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And it became either you are going to believe what you're doing or you're just going to go a different route. And that was the beginning of my journey for me.
Wow.
Like really understanding the purpose in God's herbs. And when he truly say that I've left everything for the healing of the nation, and to you that it shall be meet, right? So I took on that, didn't do any conventional medicine. I did all herbs. And I did it for about, first we initially said 3 months. And there were gauging points for me, right? I used to have stabbing in the head. I used to have tremors in the hand, um, piercing in my eyes. It was just
Wow.
horrible. Like I literally felt like somebody was stabbing me every single day in my head.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, so you just started out having these symptoms before you actually knew what it was.
Yes.
So you said you had some tremors, you had a little stabbing in the head.
Yes.
Like
And
it was like a
through the
headache.
eyes, like piercing. Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
I need to know all the symptoms, child, because anything going on over these parts, I'm coming.
No, we are not self-diagnosing.
No, I know because, but
Yes.
we need to know.
Yes.
I think the testimony is important because someone may be experiencing these signs, right?
Yes.
And don't know what it is. Like, girl, I keep having these sharp pains, or girl, my eyes keep, or having these symptoms, but don't know what, or look past it, right? Or say it's something else. Oh, girl, I had a drink last night. It could have been that drink I had. Or, girl, I used to do drugs. Could be a side effect. We have to pay attention to the signs because our body tells us
it does
what's going on. And we pay no attention at all.
Yes.
No attention. Girl, like myself, I was having swelling in my lower extremities, right? And I'm like, oh, I've been doing hair for 33 years, child. I've been standing on my feet all the time. And to find out, it's more to that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Reduce your water intake, girl.
Yes.
You hear what I say. So...
Yes.
So you start experiencing these things. And so then what happened?
So after I went to the doctor, because it had gone on for maybe about, again, doing what you said, ignoring it, right? It went on for about 6 months or so. And we noticed my health had started declining. It was just going down. My husband's like, okay, it's time. So I went in, what they do. She said, let's do an MRI just so I can see what's happening. So I did that, came back, all the fancy, pretty names. I just said, just tell me what's happening. So she did. She said, there's a brain tumor. It was about the size of a lemon. I try to get the meters right, but I can't. It's just best to describe the size.
Right, I got you. But size of a lemon, that's huge.
Yes.
And to be on your brain, girl, that's huge.
Right. Wow. So that was, again, the reason for the pressing and the stabbing and the piercing and I just didn't like how I felt after a while. You can only ignore symptoms for so long.
Yeah, for a minute. Right.
Yeah. And so after we got the diagnosis, we went, had this conversation with my dad. My husband and I decided we're going to go the natural route first. But when I got the report, here's how God sets you up. As I was on my way there, he asked me, he said, do you trust me?
That's the question.
Yes. And I said, yes, because you've never left me. You've never forsaken me. So yes, I trust you. And so we went the herbal route. I did it for 3 months because that's usually about the base of how we look at to see what's happening. I did it for 3 months. After that, I did have some of the symptoms, still had a little bit of piercing in the eyes, but the headaches were gone. A little bit of trimming. So we went on another 3 months. That's changing the diet, doing everything you need to do, right? Creating a space for healing. Mm-hmm. And I'm so grateful for my husband because he did that for me. I'm so grateful. Yeah.
2 snaps for the day. 2 snaps for the husband. I know that's, it's when you get a report as such, you really have to have a conversation with God, especially when you have a relationship with him. Because I remember when they gave me the diagnosis, I had ovarian cancer, and I was like, girl, it was like a whole what do I cry? Do I scream? What do I do? And I thank God for my relationship with him because we had that conversation, and he too said, do you trust me?
Wow.
That's his thing. Do you trust me? I am the healer of all. Yes.
Yes.
I didn't go a holistic route. I guess I did go a holistic route because I stood on the word of God. I didn't use
Mm.
any medications, no chemo, no
Wow.
radiation, any of that.
Praise God.
I did have to have a couple of procedures done, right?
Okay.
But as far as Western medicine, I did not. And to say, let me say this, give this disclaimer: we're not insinuating anything for anyone else, right?
Right. Right.
Be sure to do your own due diligence concerning your matter. This
Yes.
is what just worked for us.
Yes.
Not to say it would work for you, not to say we're prescribing or any of that to anyone or
Yes.
saying, oh, don't go to the doctor, try
Right.
this route. No, have a relationship with God to have an answer from Him. For
Yes.
me, it was the word of God was my healer.
Mm.
Every time I thought about it, by His stripes I'm healed. By
Amen.
His stripes I am healed. Ooh, I pain.
Mm.
Ooh, by His stripes I'm healed, child.
Mm.
Ooh,
Mm.
oh, you got to come in here. Oh, He said by His stripes I'm healed. And then when I did go in, after the few procedures, then they was like, you don't have to have no radiation, no chemotherapy,
Amen.
anything. We can't find nothing. So He
Amen.
was my healer, right?
Yes. Yes.
And like you were saying, change your diet, change what you were doing. Like sodas, I don't drink. Certain meats, I don't eat.
Yes.
It was things I had to change. If you won't change, be the change.
That's it.
At the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
You have to do what works for you. Western medicine, if that works for you, hey, it works for you. We're talking about what works for us and what worked for her
Yes.
situation. So go ahead, girl. Finish telling me this.
So after that, again, like you said, standing on the word. I never skipped a beat. I was a praise dancer. I still went, whether I felt good or not, because I understood where my healing came from, right? And so I can't back off of that. And so after that, we went. Well, they requested that I go because I was already settled. I'm healed.
Right.
That's where I was. Right. And so, of course, my husband, my kids, they were like, well, we need to know, for us. And so I went back in and came back with the report, and there's absolutely nothing. And I have been free ever since then. So when I tell you, I understand. When I tell you, I understand. And I love the way you put it. We're not prescribing anything, right? Because I believe in doctors. We need them.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to understand. And I believe that doctors are put here to stabilize us.
Mm-hmm.
If there's an emergency that happens, if my arm is cut off or my leg is cut, I need a doctor.
Please throw that on.
Please don't get no herbs just to
right.
So let them stabilize you. But a lot of times we stay right there. We don't move out of being stabilized. But God called us to healing.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have to move forward into the healing process, right?
Right.
And so there was, again, you talked about the foods, creating the space, doing the herbs, the detoxing, putting back in my vitamins, my nutrients, and all of those things that were needed. That helped me along the journey, right? And so it's possible for anyone, I believe, to still walk into a space of healing.
Right.
Yeah.
You were saying that, we were saying doctors are needed. Yes. But I think this is an important fact. Make sure, and you can ask these questions, are you saved? Because he said where 2 or 3 are gathered, He is in the midst.
Yes.
And we have to touch and agree on a thing, right? To establish that thing.
Yes.
So if you're not speaking the same language as me, and I'm praising Jesus Christ over here, and you praising Buddha and Allah over there, there's no connection. And so then we're going to be all over the place, especially in my healing, because you may be believing in kosher eating, you may be believing in this, and I'm doing that. So make sure, I'm just saying, I'm telling you, I don't have a problem with asking you who you serve. Because one, especially as saints, as Christians, or whatever it is that you believe, but for me and my house, I need to make sure that we are speaking the same language. Why would I want you to lay hands on my body and you don't even believe in what I believe? So you're going to transfer that spirit of what I don't, those spirit. This is a spiritual warfare.
Yes.
Because I believe, and this is Marshall, and Doctor ain't before my name yet, okay, but I see it. Praise the Lord. But I'm saying that we have to pay it close attention of the transfer of spirits that we allow people to, doctors and hairstylists and almost that's about it, that have permission to lay hands on you. And you want to make sure those people are lined up with the word of God in which you believe, because they can take all your hair out your head. Seen it happen. Seen it happen. Or they can take your life out your body. Seen it happen. And we don't pay attention to these things when it comes to the simplest things in life.
Yeah.
Right? Because the enemy has so many tactics that we don't pay no attention to. Because we so puffed up and so distracted from the basic things.
Yes.
And that's our health. You were talking about detoxing. I believe, and this is me because I remember doctors in front of your name, okay? So you can correct me if I'm wrong. But we do not detox our body enough. We are so full with junk. We never flush it out. We never cleanse our skin. We never cleanse our, I believe the cause of a lot of these diseases, right? Mucus.
Yep.
Mucus causes a lot of the things that we're going through today that we don't pay attention to. And you can get 20 people on the line and say, who detox your body? You might get 3 that even understand what a detox is. Some people think a laxative is a detox.
Nope.
Don't that only just cleanse so much of the colon, right?
Or the bowel. The colon. Yes.
Right? You the doctor girl. Doctor. And the Holy Spirit give me a little bit to say.
Yes, I back out whenever he steps in, right? So you're right. But I do want to just add a little bit.
Go ahead, girl. I said you the doctor now. You can do you.
So whenever we talk about detoxing, it is correct. It's not just the laxative to clean to have a good bowel movement. Let me say that.
Right.
Because that's what we look for. You have to detox the entire body. And so whenever we start talking about what we need to address, there are 3 major reasons why we're sick, right? Number 1, it's too much waste that's in the body. We aren't getting rid of it. Number 2, there's poor circulation. Number 3, there's deficiency. We're lacking vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need on a regular basis, right? So the waste, when you talk about mucus, we have to talk about the underlying cause of mucus, right? And it is basically by food we eat, milk, cheese,
dairy products,
we can sugar. Like you can go on and on, right? There are 8 most dangerous foods that we consider just not to do. But when you are eating these things, your body doesn't know what to do with them. So it puts them into this position, and now it's trying to give this back to you to let you know as warning signs that I need to be detoxed. We don't do it. So now you get inflammation that sits in different parts of the body, right? Because there's too much heat that's now in the body. So now the body starts responding a certain way. We get common colds all the time. We have poor bowel movement all the time. We are aches and pains and all these kind of things in our joints because all of this waste has settled into the joints. So now this is what they would call arthritis. Yeah. And inflammation causes pain. So now you have too much waste, which is causing the pain. But if we have a good bowel movement, that's step number one. You have to move this waste out of our body. Most of us are only having a bowel movement maybe once or twice a week. So I want you to think about that. We're having, on average, even if we had 10 meals a day, 10 meals within the week. You're only having
a day, child. You
yeah, 10 meals within the week. Normally it's 21 if you're eating 3 meals a day, right? But if you're only having a bowel movement once or twice, what's happening to the rest of that waste? It has accumulated in the body, right? So now we get bloating stomach, protruding stomach, we get bad breath because this stuff has putrefied in the
baby,
stomach.
And them masks ain't helping y'all, child. Let me tell you, child. Them masks, y'all think them masks helping that breath, baby? It ain't. It ain't. You better have on about 4 of them. I'm telling you, I had one that hit me the other day, child. I ain't talking about nobody, but I tell you what, I got a week 7 things like that. So get your bowels clean. Hey, just do that for me. Just do that for me. Please do that for me. And it wasn't a bad tooth. I know it couldn't have came. If that came from a tooth, you got a hole in your tooth and there's some old food in your tooth and you really need to brush your teeth, baby. But, woo, I'm glad to know that I ain't just tripping. Get your bowels clean, people. Just go ahead and do it. It's okay. Dr. Dixon got something for you. I promise you. You go visit her. She over there by Greenbrier Mall, over that way, child. She will get you right. Campbellton Road, I promise you she'll get you right. But go ahead. I digress.
And you know what? Yes, the colon. But we have to clean the blood. We have to clean, of course, upper stomach, lower stomach, bowels. We have to clean all the organs that's in our body. So if we think about it, is that your blood flows through your entire body. And so if there's waste that's in the blood, it can cause things like high blood pressure. It can cause diabetes. There's too much sugar that's in the blood, right? Again, not diagnosing or prescribing or treating anything. But cholesterol, you have deposits that are dropping off in the blood. The liver can't detox the way it should. The pancreas is not working how it should. We're overloading all of these organs. The kidneys can't detox the way that it should, filter out all this waste. So it pushes the circulation of waste back into the heart.
Wow.
It's a full cycle. So you have to detox the entire body, not just the colon, not just the bowel.
Wow. And we don't, especially in our community. Yeah. And we perish for lack of knowledge.
Yes.
And I think it's very important to bring people like yourself and your dad, and I think it's your uncle. It's 2 Johnsons, right?
My brother.
Your brother.
Yes.
It's important to bring you guys forth, especially for our men, because they don't want to go to the doctor. They don't want to check it out. They bypass it all, pay it no attention. Then next thing they know, they in a coma somewhere trying to figure it out. Like, what happened? Well, brother, you ain't never checked out nothing. You think eating them nuts. This guy gonna tell me the other day he was eating some cola nuts or something, which had a lot of benefits to it, right? Mm-hmm. Had a lot of benefits to it. It did. I had to look them up. I was trying to figure them out. They talking about, eat these nuts. I was like, bruh. I think we need more than nuts at this point in time. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of men, that's, and my heart go out to the Martin family, for Dexter, my heart goes out to you and your family. I got that. But we don't check out those things. And then when we do start seeing signs, half the time it's too late. I mean, I won't say it's too late because long as you hear, you got time, I guess, to say, right? just to keep it real with it.
Mhm.
But sometimes it's progressed more than it could have had you been on top of paying attention to the signs of your body, because your body gives you signs.
Yes.
Like all the time, you feel heart flutters, you feel dizziness, you feel tingles, you feel aches, you feel pains. You can't get up out the chair, child. Which half the chairs are on the floor for me anyway. I'm almost 6 foot, so I crawling up like little high school kindergarten chairs every time. Can't get up off the toilet. I had to go get one of the senior citizen seats to put above the toilet because the toilet all the way to the floor. Are you kidding me? Do they have 6'4" toilets? Like, how do the 6 foot, 7 foot people get off of these little bitty standard toilets? Do they have booster chairs for the toilet? That's why they don't want to go to the bathroom, Dr. Dixon, because they can't get up off the toilet, y'all. So, is that the reason why we're not detoxing? Please tell me in the chats when you get on there. Is that the reason why because you can't get off of the toilet? Because I know I had a problem. I had to go get me one of them senior citizen chairs. And because the toilet on the floor, when you rent a place, you know how they do. They got either them little midget toilets or they got that standard toilet, and you 6 foot tall. You got to crawl off the toilet, especially you got aches and pains in your kneecaps. You got to, find some way to brace yourself to get up. I'm just keeping it 100. Y'all know I keep it real, child. That might be an invention, to invent something.
You never know. If it's a need.
It's a need. What did the 6 foot, 7 foot tall people? Now they talking about giants. I know a giant ain't gonna sit on that toilet, and they sent me over here. So we gotta have something and ready for them when they come. So I'm just saying. I digress. Well, so I know y'all have like a lot of classes, and we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that after the break. The classes that you guys have. The secrets of curing diabetes.
Healing.
There you go. Healing, because we ain't curing nothing over here.
Yes.
We're just having a conversation. Let's make sure y'all got it right, because I digress. I just got to make sure we got it right. Make sure our lingo's right. We don't need to be flagged on anything.
Yes.
And say we did anything, said anything, and somebody didn't happen for him. So let's make sure that's clear over here. Yeah. So healing diabetes. I mean, for myself, they had said that, but I didn't receive that because I'm healed. Remember, I told you my word for this year is delivered. I'm delivered, but I had to do things in my deliverance, right?
Yes.
Right. I had to do things. Stop the sodas, which I did that over 2 years or so ago. But drinking sodas, child, 2 liters in a day. I mean, as a hairstylist, you jack yourself up. Especially you stay in that salon all the time.
Yes.
You in the salon all the time. You know how we do. Chasing that dollar. Just can't say no. Girl, can I come get my hair? Yeah, girl, come on. I'm still here. Bring me a hamburger on the way. Bring me a supersize it. Yeah, girl, supersize it, girl, because I probably ain't going to eat the
A lot of hairstylists. Yeah, a lot of them are in that position. Standing up, the carpal tunnel, the tingling in the hands and the feet, just
the varicose veins, swelling in the feet. I got it. Exhausted, overexertion. Yes. I got it, girl. Trust me. 33 years in the business, and I see it. One thing that saved me a lot is I learned how to work from a stool, from doing platform work. So that saved me from the varicose veins and those kind of things, because I see it in a lot of my former colleagues, I think that saved me a lot there, right? But however, I did have a lot of, issues with, I was pregnant while I was working, doing hair. When I had my last son, I had toxemia, all kind of, girl, child. I looked like Free Willy, for real. I was so swole. I looked like Free Willy. I promise you, I looked like a beach whale. That's how big I was. And the baby was 10 pounds, 11 ounces. So you go figure. Right? I know he did. He blessed me, child. I came on through with it. I came on through with that big baby, child. They called him They called the baby the Michelin Man. He was so fat. He was in the nursery doing push-ups. Talking about that your baby doing push-ups. I'm telling, I ain't lying, child. Got pictures of it. He was up pushing up like. I said, "Oh Lord, the baby 10 pounds. He was a big boy, and he's still a big boy. Not in weight, but he's a big, tall guy. But it was so important. But me not knowing, like I said, we perish by lack of knowledge, right? Because I didn't know. I mean, hot sauce, craving hot sauce. Who craves hot sauce and lemon ices and things like that? And I'm in the shop and." That's all, I was doing. So, of course, I'm going to be toxic.
Yes.
Toxic, and didn't understand what that meant. Like, oh, okay, well, when you're delivering this baby, when this baby coming, you're going to have to do a C-section. I know, because, baby, disclaimer, what goes in ain't big, ain't coming. You know what I'm saying? Just like, hey, 10 pounds ain't going in, so how the heck 10 pounds coming out? Come on now. Just keeping it 100, you can read between the lines or catch that on the ride home. But I couldn't do that. I was like, child, they gave me the date. I couldn't wait to lay down and go on, take it, cut me, do what you got to do. Because pushing was not happening. Real talk. So right after this break, we're going to get into some more conversation with Dr. Dixon. Listen, aloe heals, right? Aloe heals, okay? So I need y'all to check him out. The Aloe Man is her dad. Hey, he was a bad brother. Let me tell you something. He was a bad brother. There's some bad brothers over there. So I'm telling y'all gotta go check him out. I ain't just playing. We ain't new to it. We true to it. Okay? So hold on tight. We'll be right back after this break.
Are you sick? Are you tired? Are you feeling down? Well, Marshall Brown will give you a dose of The Antidote Show. Next week, you'll hear from some very special guests coming from across the globe. They'll share their life encounters with you that will change your life the same way it changed theirs. The program, The Antidote Show, will cure you and get rid of all of the negativity of the outside world. The Antidote Show. Get a dose of it.
We are back. We are back here with Dr. Dixon. Aloe heals. Okay, let me tell you something. Aloe heals. I need you guys to go out and check them out. Go visit them because they're doing great things in Atlanta metro area. There's her contact information. So tell me, so what are some of the classes that you guys offer? For the public to get into to help start healing the body? I'm sure you guys may do some counseling and things like that to get them prepared and to understand what they may need.
So we do offer one-on-one where they can schedule to come in and have a conversation. Classes, we have kind of pulled back from that just a little bit again, because now things are ramping back up and putting people into the same room and all. We're just a little cautious about that. But we will be offering some of the seminars via
like Zoom and
Zoom
things like that.
Yes, virtual. So we'll be doing that, and they can follow us on any of those social media that we'll be offering that. Or if you go to the website and join our email list, then we send out to let them know when that is. But yes, to have a one-on-one conversation, it's an in-depth conversation, right? Because we want to know the why this is happening to you in order to help you to move through the process. It's not just about come on in, grab this and keep moving.
Right.
The staff is full of knowledge. They can answer questions and things like that. Most of our clients that we do work with are, of course, dealing with high blood, high sugar, cholesterol, poor energy, bowels. And so we do have products that helps to envelop that if they don't necessarily need to have a conversation. Whenever we start getting into more in-depth things, especially my women with perimenopause and menopause, ooh, I know a lot of us are out there.
Child, I wouldn't even know if I had it or not, child. I'd be sweating all the time. I wouldn't know what they be asking me. You in menopause? I said, child, I don't know what that is. He said, well, you have night sweats and whatever. I said, child, when I was married, he was sleeping next to me here. I was always hot. So I don't know. I have no idea.
Well,
I have no idea. You know,
yeah,
I don't know what the real symptoms besides night sweats or having sweats. But I mean, if you have different things like what diabetes, you drink certain things, you'll sweat. You know, who knows? What's the real signs of it? Tell me.
Typically we start, of course, by age, and anywhere from 35 to 50, typically you're in perimenopause, right? So you have to kind of go through those initial symptoms. And yes, sweating is not the only symptom. Hot flashes is not the only symptom. It is so many symptoms that happen with women. Some women get headaches that they've never had before. Your cycle is up and down. Like one day it's good, next day it's not. You're having them more frequent, you're having them less, aches and pains. And it's simply because the estrogen level is dropping, right? And so there are so many things that estrogen helps with that it can affect, and you start feeling those things. It's just so many symptoms to name, but typically most women get the hot flashes that happen. And you'll know the difference between a sweat and a hot flash sweat because you literally feel like you are on fire.
I don't think.
But see, yours, again, you have like 5 different types of women who can fit into any category. And not all women have symptoms. Some of them just go right through, the cycle just stops. But if you have certain situations like you've had a hysterectomy or if you had any of those things, that typically pushes you into menopause right off.
Wow.
Because
praise
you have
God, I might have missed it. Can you miss it?
Well,
does everybody have to have that? You gotta have menopause.
Yes, you have to go through menopause. You cannot have you're going through menopause. you can't stop that. It's no way. I mean, there are certain things that you can do that will push you into menopause earlier. But God designed us that way. We have a cycle, and that cycle is because it's in our.
But those women that have had hysterectomies and may have an ovary left, that would push. Will that delay it, or
no? You're still going to go through menopause at your time.
Okay.
You just again won't. You just may not have had any of those symptoms.
Now I do have. Now I done sweated my wig out several times, child. So I could be on fire and just don't even know. Just think, "Ooh, girl, I'm hot." Okay, it's over. Okay. One of those kind of things, right? Yeah. But I'm big on not claiming stuff, so I'll just surpass it. Like, it's hot in here, child. Open the window. Oh, okay, it's cool now. Kind of thing. Just keep it
definitely having a hot flash. You are definitely having a hot flash. You cannot deny that. I understand not claiming things, but not claiming menopause that's gonna happen.
See, listen, we ain't gonna keep talking because you probably talking one up. We talking one up now. Praise him. So those women, but could it? I mean, but honestly, could it kind of suppress it some after going through a hysterectomy, or it makes it come up forward faster? It comes up forward.
Yes.
But is it to a certain age range? After a certain age could menopause be over with? Like, how does that work?
So menopause doesn't happen until you have perimenopause, which is before, right? And that's when the body is going through the transition is now happening. When you reach menopause is when you have been cycle free for 365 days, right? And so that's why I say when you have a hysterectomy, you've removed everything, right? A total hysterectomy. You've removed everything. So that means now the body says, oh, wait a minute. I don't have any more ovaries. I'm not producing anything else. I'm not. So it naturally says menopause, period. But when you go through the natural cycle of menopause, it is once you've reached 365 days without a cycle, you are officially into menopause.
Mm.
Right?
Well, I've been 15 years without one, praise the Lord.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mix. Now, child, for real, because it was really, really bad. Like the fibroids, right? Yes, which a lot of women deal with.
Yes.
And they don't know how to deal with it, because my cycle will go almost 21 days or more, right? And that was just too much. Then by the second time it did that, I knew something was up. You know, this ain't normal, this ain't it. And I could read my body, right? And did that to go on to get checked out. Right? I went on and got checked out, and then that's when they found that I had the fibroid tumors, right? Had the cell tumors, right? But it was because I just felt, like I said, how to feel the difference in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt this shift and the change in my body, and getting that checked out. Then they was like, hey, it's a little bit more going on here than just normal, menstruation or whatnot, So I see that it's a lot of women dealing with those issues. Like, yes. I didn't, all my life, I never had a problem with cramping during that time. But when I started having those issues, cramping came. I was like, oh no, what is this? And I'm quick to go get it checked out now. Me going to the doctor all the time, that ain't happening. But however, once I feel something going on with me, then I'm going to get that thing checked out. So how does women, come in, make an appointment, to have that conversation with you guys, so then you can say, hey, well, let's see about this, or let's see about that. How can they do that, or how does that process work?
So typically they would call the office, and they can schedule an appointment there, or you can go on the website and schedule an appointment through there as well. Yeah. And that is huge. When you talk about fibroids and menopause, perimenopause, our voice is not heard. A lot of times we're kind of pushed to the side, and we're told that we're crazy because we feel a certain way. And it's basically a hormonal shift that's happening that we have to realize that we need to deal with. And so I always try to educate the younger women to prepare their bodies in their 20s, because when you hit 30, things start shifting.
Right.
You don't want to wait until then to try to catch up, right? But so many times in our earlier years, we kind of use our body up when we really need to be preserving for the end, because we're going to go through a change. It's going to happen.
Yeah. So I think that is so important. But if you don't know, you can't teach, and a lot of their parents don't know, so they can't teach. So I think it's important. That's one of the reasons, most definitely, that I brought you on, because we're going into Black history, right? Yes. We're going into these months, even though we Black history all the time. We in Black history every day, long as you stay. Okay. So, but we're bringing things forward and out, because we really need that knowledge. And like I said earlier, we perish by lack of knowledge. Yes. And we don't have the knowledge, or we don't have the people coming forth to give us the knowledge. Because like a young lady would be like, well, where do I ask these questions at? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? Because they're not out there, because the people are, I'm minding my business. I just stay in my lane, and this and that, which is so ignorant to me, when we should be teaching one. Each one teach one. Yes. And I think that's the important. He said, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and our testimony.
Yes.
You giving your testimony of how you start having pins in your head, eyes in your eye, you know. And like I know I'd have been freaking out. Oh Lord, is it like my dad would say, is it the end? I'm coming to join you, mama. You know, like what's going on? You know, I have a problem with strange feelings, but we surpass it. We don't think about it. We don't look at it, and then we don't know where to go or who to get this information from because we're not big in our communities with sharing the information so that we can get better healing, so we can get better understanding, you know? So sis, I tell you what, I thank you so much for coming on the show, giving your testimony, shedding light on holistic healing.
Yes.
Now, like I said, guys, you choose to do what you want to do. We're not coming here to diagnose anything. We're not coming here to say, hey, don't go take that medicine. Come over here and see us. No. What I am asking you to do is go have a conversation. Go have a conversation because what you're doing may not be working for you. Let me ask you this, since we do have about 15 minutes left. Let me ask you this. How important, because I know they give a lot of vaccines and things like that, right? And they just have one across the board, it seems like. But how important is it that we understand our blood type, eat to our blood type, and know that everything you eat, I can't eat? You know, because it you know, it's something different. Like I know that I shouldn't have like what's one thing, cabbage for type O positive blood type, right? Or certain salmons and things like that. It's like poison to my blood.
Okay.
But some people don't know those things.
So I'm not huge on the blood type. That I don't necessarily flow with that. I mean, I know that that's the way that some people do, but that's not the way that we flow.
Okay.
It is more about supporting the blood for us, right? Because when you look at certain things, even if, and just to ask the question that even if my blood type was an O, a B, whatever it is, if I still drink milk, I'm still going to have mucus.
Right.
Right? So regardless of any of that piece, it is those things that we look for that are underlying causes for us. Blood pressure we look at as a major. Water we didn't even get into because you and I have had that conversation.
Right.
Kidney support is something that we look at hugely because it is running rampant in our community, right? So those are the things that we look at. What are you doing that is helping to nourish your body? Period. Yes, you pay attention to what your body likes and doesn't like. That's a simple thing. It's the key is to make sure that we are not abusing the body in that sense. The blood pressure that is happening to your body. Did you know that that is kidney and heart related? How is your blood circulating? Is it clean? Is it dirty? Is it full of mucus? Is it full of these things? If it is, then you need to be detoxing your blood in order to help with the blood pressure. And of course, as we talked about, we use that product, which is GAP. We use that to do the detoxing, which was a part of my journey. I had to detox the blood, right? When you talk about sugar, diabetes in our community, what are those things that causes the sugar to rise? Sugar. And that's what you prick your finger to look for, right? Is sugar.
Right.
So whether you're A, O, B, A, B, whatever you still pricking that finger to look for sugar.
That's right.
So that's more of how we flow and look for things that are happening. What habits are you doing that's causing your body to create this shift?
Gotcha. See, that's how we're going to know. That's how we're going to learn when we ask these questions. Because, you know, they have these books out, eat to your blood type, things like that. And then when you look in, you be like, oh, I ain't supposed to be eating that. I shouldn't be eating this. I shouldn't be eating that. And these things is causing some problems, you know, so I just think you would have to look at it. because what's for me may not be for you.
Right.
You know, and I think being able to draw that line to understand that some things that's for you shouldn't be for me or whatever makes me think, well, how can they give you something that say it's universal, it's for everybody, like everybody can do this thing, because some people can do certain vaccines or whatever, they don't get sick. Then some people can do it and they sick as a dog, you know. So it doesn't make, you know, it's like, you know.
So the vaccine part, I don't get into that piece.
I got you.
It's a choice. However, your immune system is what counts, right?
Gotcha.
Where you are, have you been someone who has built up the immune system? Are you prone to sickness? Are you, like, all of these things you need to know.
Have to look at.
Yes, but it's all about making sure that immune system is
built up.
Yes,
Right.
that's
Right.
key. And so if I can, I just want to show just two things that we've done across the board for everybody that has everything that you need in it, if I have your permission.
Yeah, girl, show you
So,
a thing.
so this particular one, hold on. You know, I have this, that all in one. Girl, I'm all over the place. That one is going to give you all of your minerals. It's going to detox the full body, upper stomach, lower stomach, bowels, put back all your minerals. It's the A, B, C, D, P for permeability. It helps the colon. It helps your heart, the lungs, all of the organs in your body. So this is all in one. You don't need to go out and buy separate vitamins and minerals and all of that. That's in there.
That's everything in it.
Yes. And then this one is something that we do on a daily basis.
It's called Push.
It's called Push. That one has apple cider vinegar, but it helps brain support, liver support, bowels, moving, the gut. You talked about that immunity part. Those two together are amazing to work.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so that, along with our gap pills, which I didn't have a bottle of, but
child, let me tell you about them gap pills. When I tell you that's a pusher right there, because listen, I'm always hearing somebody say, girl, you need to get you some gap pills. And I was trying to figure out, well, what the heck is some gap pills? And then, like I said, I worked in a barbershop. Well, I managed some barbershops. And one of the guys was like, hey, Miss Brown, you need to get you some of these gap pills. Yeah. And then he gave me some. And I was like, oh, okay. You know, it helps lower your blood pressure and things like that, right? Because he was like, girl, you stressed. You need one of these gap pills. And then, like I said, my client was like, girl, you need to get you some gap pills. Yeah. And I was like, who is these people with these gap pills? But then when I came to visit you, let me tell you this, guys. When I did my first initial visit, I promise you, it just felt like I was sitting with my sister. She took the time out to have a conversation. We sat there like we had been friends for years and years and years, child. It wasn't no newness to the conversation. It was like, sis, this is where you at. This is where you need to be. Let's do it. You know, and I love that it was really an open door, safe place conversation. And that's what I loved. And I appreciate it so much because she genuinely will embrace you right where you are at with no prejudiceness of anything, just so open and so beautiful, just like she is on my screen today, child. So please Google the Aloe Man, Aloe Heals, and see what they have. Make an appointment. Go into the office. Check them out. They're on Hamilton Road here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm telling you, it was just a pleasure, sis. I thank you so much. Hey, make sure. Hey, we have an event March the 9th. She's coming. And we'll talk about the thing in depth. We can talk about that thing, guys. So be there March the 9th. It's the history of the black woman. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna come with some history. Yes, I'm excited. Yeah. We're gonna come with some history. It's so much stuff is gonna go on that day. It is March the 9th from 12 to 4 at 1067 Veterans Memorial Highway over in Mableton, Georgia. I promise you, you are going to be filled with so much information. You're going to be ready. When I'm telling you, you are marching in, okay? You're marching into good healing, entrepreneurship, your finances, modest apparel. You're going to march into the rest of the year with keys. And that's what you brought today, sis. You brought some good information for us. You brought some keys. Honey, you have brought the antidote. Get ready.
Yes.
Get ready. Sis, I'm excited for you. I know God is going to do great things for you. Let me tell you, one thing her formulas do, girl, make the skin look good.
Yes.
Girl, black don't crack. I don't care what you say. Let me say, because you can see it. You can see the health. You can see the ray of freshness. You can see the shine and the glow on you, girl. You know girl, let me see. Side by side. Yeah. But is there anything else you would like to leave our viewers with? Any events you have coming up or anything you guys have going on? Maybe you have specials. Go to her website. Check her out. They got some specials. We ain't gonna quote no prices over here, but go check it out. Do you have anything you got? Can they come by and say, "Hey, I saw you on the Antidote Show"?
Yes.
Can you give them a little something?
Absolutely. They get a special discount just for seeing me. I actually do have an event talking about perimenopause and menopause that's coming up.
I'll be there.
But you know what? It's actually it's February 3rd. I don't know how that's
that's okay. Well, if y'all missed it, child, it's okay. She gonna have something else coming on. But that
yes. But if they join on the website is aloheals.com. If they go on there and join the email list, they're able to get all of the events that's coming up, so they won't miss it next time. But yes, I have truly enjoyed our conversation.
Yes, I'm gonna have you on my other podcast. It's called The Conversation Piece. And then you can bring on your brother and your dad, and we can have a whole panel of the conversation. Okay. Because we really need to get our people ready. Yes. They need to not only be physically healthy ready, but they need to be spiritually ready. Yes. Now, Dr. Dixon has the antidote to your health, but I serve a God that has an antidote to all things. Amen. He owns all things. If you don't know him, get to know him. Make sure you get to a Bible-based church. You're welcome to come visit me. I'm over at Fadam, Faith and Deliverance, over in Mableton, Georgia, 1067 Veterans Memorial Highway. Because let me tell you this. They saying we at the end times. Mm-hmm. And God said he don't want no one to perish. So I need to do my part in discipling and being an ambassador for Christ. And I'm never afraid to say who I serve. Yes. Who I serve. I'm always going to give God the glory in everything. I'm going to sow the seed. Dr. Dixon going to water, and God's going to get the increase. Woo! All right, somebody. Praise the Lord. God is the antidote to all things. Trust him. He got you. Like he asked us, do you trust me? Yes. And we had to make up in our mind, do we trust him? He said, trust no man, but always put your trust in him. And as we did that, we received our healing. And our healing came from the Lord. It didn't come from nobody else or nothing else but him. Because guess what? It was already done. It was already done when he said, do you trust me? And we said, yes. And he said, whoop, you healed, you are delivered, and you are set free. Go forth, my sister. Okay, so brothers and sisters, don't stop going forward. I don't care what it looked like. I don't care what they say. You continue to praise God in the midst of it. He never said we wouldn't have trials and tribulations. He said they would come, but he said we can overcome by them, right? That we can overcome because at the end of the day, God is the antidote. All right. I love you, sis. I love you, sis. Hey, do me a favor, y'all out there. Get a dose. All right. Get a dose of Dr. Dixon, but also get a dose of God. Okay, until next time, God bless you guys and have a beautiful and blessed night.
Thank you.
Are you sick? Are you tired? Are you feeling down? Well, Marshall Brown will give you a dose of The Antidote Show. Next week, you'll hear from some very special guests coming from across the globe. They'll share their life encounters with you that will change your life the same way it changed theirs. The program, The Antidote Show, will cure you and get rid of all of the negativity of the outside world. The Antidote Show.